Think about this for a second. If you're under 25, you never got to experience Michael Jackson in real time. No live concerts, no new albums dropping, no watching the world react to him in the moment. You only know him through old clips, TikTok sounds, and your parents telling you you had to be there. But on April 24th, that changes for every single person on the planet. The biggest biopic of the decade is here, and it's about to introduce the king of pop to a generation that never got their chance. Here's something wild to think about. Michael Jackson passed away in June 2009. That means anyone who is 22 years old right now was only 5 or 6 when he died. They didn't grow up watching him perform on live television. They didn't experience the moment Thriller dropped and changed music forever. They didn't see the world stop every time he walked onto a stage. What they got instead were YouTube clips with grainy quality, 10-second TikToks, and maybe a parent's old CD in the car. That's not the full experience. That's not even close. And here's the thing, even with just those fragments, Gen Z is obsessed with him. His music still racks up billions of streams. The moonwalk still goes viral every few months. Billie Jean still sounds like it was made yesterday. Imagine what happens when that same generation gets to sit in a dark theater on a massive screen surrounded by surround sound and experience Michael Jackson the way he was always meant to be experienced. That's exactly what this movie is offering. And based on the early reactions, they are more than ready for it. Okay, real talk for a second. And this is specifically for my MJ fans watching this. You've been waiting your whole life for Michael Jackson film, and I wanted to make something that matches that energy. So I designed an exclusive Michael movie t-shirt, made for fans by a fan. This isn't some generic merch you find on a random website. I put real thought into this because I know how much this movie means to us. Wear it to the theater, wear it the day the tickets go on sale. Wear it just because you're proud to be a fan of the greatest entertainer who ever lived. T-shirt link is pinned right at the top of the description. Go get yours after watching this video. Okay, let's get back to the king of pop. But before we talk about what's in the film, let's talk about why it took Hollywood this long to even try making it. 17 years is a long time to wait, but when you think about the scale of Michael Jackson's story, it starts to make sense. This isn't a straightforward rise to fame story. This is the most layered, complicated, emotional career in the history of popular music, and getting it wrong would have been unforgivable. Development on this film actually began back in November 2019 when producer Graham King secured the rights to tell MJ's story. And if that name sounds familiar, it should. Graham King is an Oscar winner for The Departed and the same producer behind Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen biopic that became one of the highest-grossing music films ever made. So this isn't someone who stumbled into this project. He knew exactly what he was doing. Then came Antoine Fuqua as director, the man behind Training Day, bringing a raw, performance-driven intensity to the project. And screenwriter John Logan, whose credits include Gladiator and Skyfall, was brought in to shape the story. The official description calls it an intimate look at the life and enduring legacy of one of the most influential, trailblazing artists the world has ever known. This team didn't want to make a Wikipedia page on film, they wanted to make you feel something, and to do that, they made one casting decision that nobody saw coming. When the name Jafar Jackson was announced as the lead, a lot of people had to Google him, and that's actually part of what makes this story so compelling. Jafar Jackson is Michael's real-life nephew, the son of former Jackson 5 member Jermaine Jackson, and this film marks his very first acting role. No prior credits, no Hollywood background, just talent, preparation, and a bloodline that connects him directly to the man he's portraying. His family connection and vocal similarity created immediate curiosity the moment his casting was announced. But Jafar didn't just show up and trade on his last name. He went through a 2-year casting process to earn the role and prove to the filmmakers he was capable of becoming Michael. He trained obsessively. The dance moves, the mannerisms, the vocal delivery, all of it. Director Antoine Fuqua watched it happen in real time and said, "It's uncanny how much he's like Michael." And Jafar himself described the responsibility beautifully. When the trailer dropped and people saw him in the Thriller makeup, in the white glove, doing the moonwalk, the comment section said it all. The world believed him instantly. But Jafar is just one piece of this. The real secret weapon of this entire film? The music. Let's be honest about something. You could put anyone on that screen and people would still show up for the music. Because Michael Jackson's catalog is genuinely untouchable, and this film understands that completely. The soundtrack features 13 of Jackson's songs spanning his early career with the Jackson 5 all the way through his iconic solo years. But it goes even deeper than the hits you already know. The Michael Jackson estate has been exploring unreleased songs from his archives, specifically outtakes from the Thriller Bad and Dangerous recording sessions, to potentially feature in the film. Think about what that means. Music that has never been heard publicly. Songs that were created during the most legendary recording runs in pop history, now potentially getting their debut in a movie theater. Producers believe this could even raise the film's chances of an Oscar nomination, and potentially send MJ back onto the charts for the first time in years. And honestly, hearing Billie Jean through cinema speakers for the first time is going to be a completely different experience than listening through earbuds. That's the kind of moment that creates lifelong fans. Now let's talk about the actual scenes that are going to make people lose their minds in that theater. There are certain moments in music history that feel almost mythological at this point. The Thriller video, the first moonwalk on live television, the Jackson 5 on the Motown stage. These aren't just performances. They're cultural turning points that changed what entertainment even means. And this film is rebuilding all of them from the ground up. The trailer alone shows Jafar recreating the Thriller music video, iconic stage performances, life in the recording studio, and the early Jackson 5 days. And the reaction from fans who watched it was immediate and emotional. The film carries a $155 million budget, and you can feel that in every frame of what's been shown so far. This isn't a low-budget passion project. This is a full cinematic event built to make these legendary moments feel as massive as they actually were. For older fans, seeing these scenes recreated will feel like stepping back in time. But for younger viewers who have only ever seen pixelated YouTube footage of these performances, watching them unfold on a giant screen in full cinematic detail is going to feel like discovering something completely new. That gap between knowing about a moment and actually experiencing it, this film is closing that gap. And to bring all of these moments to life, they surrounded Jafar with some of the most talented actors working right now. It's not just about a movie. A movie is 2 hours and then it's done. What this film is actually doing is giving an entire generation their entry point into one of the greatest stories ever told. Think about all the people who are going to walk out of that theater on April 24th and immediately open Spotify, who are going to watch old MJ concert footage for the first time and have their minds completely blown, who are going to show their friends the moonwalk and say, "No, you don't understand, watch this." That ripple effect is the real legacy of a film like this. There's a massive difference between knowing of someone and actually understanding them. This film gives you the full picture: the childhood, the sacrifice, the creative obsession, the performances that defied what anyone thought was humanly possible. The way Bohemian Rhapsody made Queen feel alive again, this film is set to do that on an even bigger scale. The king of pop never really left. The world just needed the right moment to remember. April 24th is that moment.